Hello everyone, welcome to the last, for now, of The Walking Dead tier lists for the characters. This is Season 5. As usual, comments are off to avoid spoilers. I've only watched up to Season 5, so this is as far as my knowledge goes this season of the show. I've not watched 6 and beyond, and I'll get to that eventually and continue doing tier lists for it. Um, for now, yeah, spoilers. If you haven't watched the show, you should go watch it because it's cool. It's great. Um, let's get into this. This will be, season characters' actions for this season. That's it. So we're gonna go with Aaron first, who shows up to tell everybody about Alexandria, the camp. This guy, I guess when he first appeared, I felt like Rick was just kind of being an ass to him. I get Rick has to protect his group and can't really trust anything, but I think he's a bit too rude to Aaron. He's a kind guy. He provided proof that Alexandria is a safe place, that it does exist, that he wasn't gonna hurt him. It's a bit wrong of Rick, so I feel bad for Aaron for getting crap like that. He had a license plate collection, which is cool. He has a boyfriend who really isn't, as far as I know, like at the moment, hasn't been a very important character. He's shown up in a couple scenes. Really, he's more of a, like, later in the season is when his character starts to appear a little more. And he's got a bit of a bromance going with Daryl. He hangs out with him and whatnot, and I like him. He's pretty cool. That's overall, yeah. Aaron, pretty cool guy. I like him. Abraham, still just as funny, still just as much of an ass kicker, as much of a leader, and also kind of a dick to the people he's with for a little bit while they're on the road, particularly after they get the fire truck and they're on the road, and then they find up, a giant horde of walkers crossing the road and at a farm, and they just can't go through it. But he's fighting everybody, saying, "No, we can do it. We go through. We get it. We go around, or we don't take any steps back." His leadership does kind of cause trouble. When Eugene breaks, the truth out, he gets really pissed off, and understandable. But I don't know. I think Abraham, as nice of a leader as he is a little too hard. He doesn't really listen or take word from other people. But I still love him. He's still funny. He's still a great guy. Aiden, this guy's kind of just a prick. You'll see in season 5 with Alexandria and the hospital that a lot of the characters introduced are kind of just big dickheads. And well, yeah. So Aiden, dislike the guy. He's just a coward. He said it himself. He seemed like a douchebag when he first showed up. So yeah, he died too. So that's good. Is this Beth? I think it's Beth. Beth, in this season, kind of weird. I'm going to, due to the situation she was put in, she was put in like a really shitty area, and I don't think her story for this season was very good. I don't really dislike her as a character, but just because the way she is this season, her situation in the season, I really don't like her character or her story. I just, ugh. At least she tried to kill Dawn, who we'll get to in a minute, very shortly. I just, ugh, don't know, man. I don't like her. The way her whole story played out, and then she died. So, yeah. I mean, I give her props for trying to kill Dawn, which was, good, because all those officers are complete assholes. Bob. Bob is really cool. He's only there for the first few episodes of the season, when they're at Gabriel's church. I really like him, because he's just a happy guy all around, There's a particular scene when Gareth and his buddies are eating his leg, and he just starts laughing like a madman because he was infected after getting bit, and that was really cool. I like that a lot. And then he died. He's funny, and he's a likable guy. Carl, alright, this is the season that's most fresh in my head, and honestly, even Carl, I don't even think really had much of anything in this season. I don't remember much for him this season at all, honestly. Yeah, I actually don't recall. I really don't. I'm just put him in like, because he's Carl. Let me just quickly pull this up. Alright, I made a little list of things that I have to remember to do, because I forgot to do them in one of the last ones. Carol, absolutely incredible. Love. Completely changed from season 1 and 2. Season 3 and 4, she became more hardened, and more, much more on the kick-ass side. And this season, she alone blew up a whole facility, a whole group of people, like they living in this facility, and saved all of her friends alone. Like, all alone she did it. She is so awesome. And she continues to just be a general good character throughout the rest of the season. Particularly when she's in Alexandria, how she plays the double-sided thing so much. Just like the governor, where she puts on an act so well to fit in with everyone. Try and be, pretending to be the housewife, the weak housewife that she was in the early seasons, but she still, has that side of her where she's mischievous, stealing guns and, just being cool, really. So, I love Carol, she's great. Daryl, so, same situation, I guess. He's still the same old, awesome guy. Not really, and nothing stands out to me particularly this season, I guess, near the end. He does kind of start to fit in and get along with people, which is nice, and I like that. He gets along with Aaron, gets a bike. Daryl, I mean, I don't know. I don't really have much to say about him. He's just a great guy. Dawn, over-controlling bitch. Just horrible person. Like, just, I don't even know. I can't. She blew Beth's brain out. She beats people who disagree with her, tries to kill people who being better or whatever. Just, she's ready to throw people on the side of the street and let them rot. What a terrible, horrible leader she is. And every single goddamn officer is a bitch in the season. And I'm going to put them all in the hate. So, I'm trying to think here. There's a particular moment when, she's just bossing everyone around that just solidified me hating her. The whole thing of it's not worth the resources, or it is, and she just contradicts herself over and over, and she just makes no sense, and she's annoying, and I'm glad she died. Daryl did a good thing, putting a bullet in her head. This woman, don't know her name, she's important, and I don't know her name, but I'm gonna say I like her. She comes in, well, she doesn't really come in, but she's the leader, per se, of Alexandria, and she lets Rick and his group in because she needs them to help build a better society inside the walls, and just an overall safer place. And then Rick tries that, and then she gets pissy until someone dies, and then she's like, you know what, Rick, you're right, we need you. And she's a nice person. I love that her thoughts changed. She went from, Pete, we don't kill people here. We're not gonna kill Pete. If he's really becomes a big problem, we'll just exile him. And by the end of the season, he's like, you know what? Yeah, kill him. He's horrible. So yeah, I like that little change. But I don't even remember her name. The doctor, don't remember his name either. I'm gonna put him in neutral because he did things I agree with, and things I didn't agree with. The things I don't agree with, kind of not even in his control. The one thing I didn't like that he did was killing another doctor, lying about what medicine Beth had to give him to kill him to keep his position, because he would have been thrown on the street had there been another doctor there to take his place. Don't agree with that, but I understand why he did it. But I still think that's very wrong of him to pretty much kill somebody and put it in the hands of Beth, and I think it was Noah who took the blame for that. Eden, she's just kind of weird, just like her. She's got like a lovey-dovey thing going on with Carl. Like, it's not even stated, but it's kind of obvious where it's going. And you know what? I guess that's something I didn't like with Carl, is that kind of following her and creeping on her. Carl made friends, which was nice, so that made me happy. So I guess that's the thing to say. Carl did make friends at Alexandria, and that was nice. Aaron's boyfriend, I don't remember his name. I'm gonna stick him in neutral because he hasn't really done a whole lot. He's been in a handful of scenes, but that's it. I can't even say anything, about him particularly. But Aaron is really protective over him, wants to make sure he's safe. So he's, like, Daryl, you come along and he can stay on the side. So yeah. A point with all these Alexandria characters, or really Season 5 characters, is they just show up for such a short time. I can't remember their names unless they're a major character. Like, Gareth I wouldn't call major, but he's very important because he sets the first few episodes up, so... Um, Eugene, still just the same as last time. I love him. He's a nerd. He's me. Nothing else to say about him. Gabriel is one of the... this is one I can discuss a bit. He's kind of all over the place, this man. I don't know. At first, I didn't trust him, but then I realized he's just a genuine, like... He's just a pastor. That's it. He's an innocent pastor until you learn about his secret when he essentially killed some people by not letting him in the church during the outbreak, I assume, when it first happened. Didn't let the people in the church, and he's responsible for their deaths, and he feels so guilty, and he has so many issues, you know, going out trying to escape from his problems, and then nearly getting attacked, refusing to use a weapon. Eventually, when he does get a kill on a walker, he's just like, why? What happened? Why, Lord? Why did you do this? Why did you make me do this? And he's not happy at all. And eventually, he tries to get Sasha just put a bullet in his brain. And he's all over the place, but he at heart, in the heart, he is a nice guy. So I'd say I like him. He's just got a lot of guilt, and it really screws with his mind. Gareth. All right, Gareth is just I hate him. He's a weirdo, like I said last time. Weird villain, and it's not like he's a good enough villain for me to put him in love, like with the governor, because the governor's such a evil bastard. I love him. Gareth is just a weirdo, and his buddies are weird, and he wants to kill Judith and eat her, and kill everybody and eat them, and he's just a weirdo, really, yeah, like I said. But, you know, Rick gets big bonus points for what he did, alright? I think it was, at the beginning of season 1, or episode 1 of the season, and he's like, you know, Gareth's like, such a weird... He's sitting here watching people get their heads chopped off, and he's just, you know, marking stuff off his checkboard, or his clipboard. He's like, what's wrong with this guy? And then he's like, you know, you got guns out there, I know. Tell me what's inside. Rick's replying, you know, yeah, we got guns. We got ammo. There's a machete in there with a red handle that I'm going to kill you with. I was like, you better do, Rick. Fulfills that. So, you know, Gareth infiltrates the church, and then eventually Rick and his group come back, shoot them in the asses, and then Rick chops them to bits. So that was a good way to kill this guy. Glenn is still in my love. He kind of has a bit of, like, just kind of issues all around this season with people, particularly at the end. But I would say the good things I like is him refusing to leave, trying to save Tara while they're in the in that tunnel. Good work by him there for just not giving up. But he has a bit of a beef with, can't remember his name again, this guy here. This guy's an asshole, and we'll get to him eventually. You know, I kind of disagree with Glenn not shooting him in the face, but Glenn, you know, did witness what he did. I gotta say, good guy Glenn. He's a bit too nice, but with his little fight that he had with this guy, the fact that he was, you know, man enough to just say, you know, killing him, it's not right. Like, the guy's horrible, he's a dick, but, you know, it's not worth taking his life, I guess. I don't know. So, good guy Glenn, pretty much, overall. This dude tried to rape Beth. I think that just alone, just, there we go. This guy gets his own tier of just being a shithead. He forces Beth to eat a lollipop that he stole from her, that she got from Noah, who stole... Look, this lollipop made its way around, okay? Ended up in his mouth, and he forced it into hers. And then tried to rape her in Dawn's office. What a just bastard, okay? You're terrible. This chick, who Rick kind of has a crushie on, kind of important. I say kind of like her because she's, you know, just a nice person all around. And likes Rick, clearly does a bit like Rick. Rick will get to him in this season. Is kind of a bit funny, what he does. So, I don't know. She's got a bastard of a son. Who I'm gonna get him out of the way real quick. We'll come back to this chick. But Sam, he's a little shit. Fuck this guy Tyr as well. He's so annoying. He just bugs Carol over and over and over. Just never goes away. You can't keep a secret. He's annoying. He just wants cookies, and I'm like, man, you ain't getting your cookies. Piss off. All right, Sam sucks. Back to the chick up here, the blondie. I actually can't even remember stuff. Her story is sad. That's not even like that's not something I could judge on her. She's just I don't know. She's just a nice person. Okay, I'll say that. I like her. She's nice. I think this is the cop that tried to do the double take on knock Sasha out after being captured and tried to run away, and then Rick just ran him down and shot him in the head. So that was a good way to go out. Hate you, I hate you, because you're. Is this an officer? I can't remember. I think so. You suck. Where's the rest of them? Any more? Yeah. This guy was shot and thrown down an elevator shaft. Just all the police were terrible. Should be all of them. Let's see here. Maggie, what'd she even do this season? I actually don't know. She became like the second in command to the old woman. And she is nice in defending her friends, I guess. I mean, what more is there different to say about her? She still kicks ass, and she's still a nice person. This guy, again, I hate him. He's the weirdo that tried to actually kill Judith and was with Tyrese, and then he came back, and then he died. And he's still an asshole. And so is this woman as well. See, these few characters kind of come back because they appeared at the end of Season 4 and the beginning of 5. Same with this old crazy lady. Michonne, I think with the police officer outfit, even cooler. And she's even more badass. And I love that she's not agreeing with Rick. She's disagreeing, and I like that. I guess because she seemed to always agree with Rick on most things, but when she decides, this place, Alexandria, it's got to be safe. I trust him. I want to go there. I like that. She's got a mind of her own. She's got her own thoughts on stuff, and she's deviating from Rick, and there's a little tension between them, but I like that, and I really agreed. I always agreed with her when she was talking about it, in that bar, and she's like, we're going because it feels safe. I think this guy is the real deal. I'm like, yeah, I totally agree with you. Rick's being a bit too meh. Let's see. So this kid, and I think it's this guy as well. These are like Rick's friend, Carl's friends. I'm gonna put them in neutral because they don't really have too much of a speaking role. Morgan comes back, shows up a couple times throughout the season. Episode 1, Episode 8, and big part in Episode 16. So through 1 and 8, he's pretty much just making his way towards Alexandria. That's it. So not much to say about that, but it was cool seeing him again. Where he shined definitely was the final episode when he went pretty much like Chinese fighting warrior with a stick, like knocking out the wolf people, despite having guns pointed at him. No fear in this man. So zen, and I love it. Saved Daryl when I did not expect it. Daryl and Aaron stuck in a car surrounded by walkers. Of all the people, I didn't actually think Morgan would be the one that show up. And then, of course, eventually he comes back and sees, Alexandria. He sees Rick again, and they meet face-to-face, and that was really cool. One thing I didn't like, though, is the way that he was introduced back to Rick. Seeing Rick put a bullet in someone's head. He's probably like, what the hell was that, man? Not knowing that. But, yeah, once again, Morgan, love the guy. He's really cool. And I'm sure he'll be major in Season 6, so I can't wait to see that. This guy, hate him. He's an asshole. He starts crap with Glenn. Because, like Aiden, just a pussy, and he alone pretty much killed Noah. So the situation goes, they have to run away, and they get surrounded by zombies, and they're stuck in a revolving door. And then Glenn makes the choice of, hey, we got to do some teamwork here, right? You're going to listen to me. I'm going to take team leader. You got to listen to me. I'm going to smash the glass with this gun. But you have to push, against the door to keep it steady so the walkers don't get us. Makes sense, right? Completely disobeys the orders, runs through the door, pushes it open to escape and leave the other two behind like a dick. Just an absolute dick. Noah poor Noah gets chewed up in the most gruesome, one of the most gruesome and nasty deaths in the entire show, and I loved it so far. The poor man had his face torn apart right in front of Glenn, and he pretty much killed Noah. Then he yanks Eugene out the car, throws him around, tries to run off before Glenn has to come out, and then he tries to run off again after starting a fight with Glenn at the in the final episode, and then tries to kill him and gets his ass beaten. What a terrible guy! I hate him. Hope he dies. Noah. So I just explained Noah had a most nasty death, and I love that. But I'm not gonna say that's like why I like him. He just seemed like a very overall nice kid. Like he just seemed like a nice kid. He wanted to help with the future of Alexandria and all that. Very nice guy. That's really all there is to say about him. Overall, he's a cool kid. I like him. And he also tried to help Beth escape, which is nice. Nice that he made a little friendship and did his best to help. What I didn't like, though, was when he attacked Daryl and Carol. That wasn't nice. Not a fan of that. But I kind of understand he needed to protect himself against the people at the hospital. Eventually, Noah, that's one thing. I guess that's the Daryl episode right there, when he's with Carol. Kind of at first, I'm going to hop back to Daryl for a second. Didn't like that he wanted to leave Noah behind, but I do like that he eventually changed his mind and was nice about it. So yeah, Noah nearly died, but he lived and then he got chewed up, so it's very sad. This woman, neutral, she's like a cook or something in Alexandria, don't even know her name. Pete is an asshole, beats his wife, tried to kill Rick, then killed the next guy up for no good reason with Michonne's sword. Like, what a bastard. The old woman's husband, who I liked him because he's just kind of nice too. He's the guy that built the walls. He's the one that built the buildings and stuff that were around, and he was planning on, working with Noah to, be an architect, teach him the things that he needs to help for the future of Alexandria. And then Pete slits his throat open, and then Pete, you're a bastard. What's wrong with you? A drunk fucker who beats his wife and child. Glad he was dead, but I'm also disappointed that he ended up getting a kill. Rick, we're going to save for the end, because again, Rick is such a major character. This chick, don't even know. Get out. This guy, he appears in late Season 4 with Carol and Rick, actually early Season 4, what am I saying? Early Season 4 when Rick pretty much evicts Carol from the prison. His girlfriend dies, and then he disappears. Later, he comes back, and he shows up for literally one scene where he dies. So I'm going to put him in neutral, I guess. I don't know. Rosita, I actually don't. She had 3 lines in the entire season. At least that No, she kind of had a bit of a thing with Abraham. She did the naughty with Abraham, and Eugene was watching. That's another reason why Eugene's funny. What a bad... God, come on. Yeah, no, I'm gonna say I like her, because, she had the brain. She was, the closest with Abraham, and then she decided, Abraham, you gotta take a break, man. You're going too hard. She's kind of a voice of reason as well, along with, I guess, Tara and Glenn, so, yes. There's a bit more to her than I remember. But yeah, overall, I just like her, and she's hot. Sasha, once again, I hate Sasha so much. Oh my god, I don't like her. And she outlived Tyrese, and it made me disappointed. She's just, she lost Bob, and then she became even more of a whack job, and that rhymed. Then she tried to kill Gabriel, and just die. I hate her. She goes off into the woods, and then, complains and cries, and talks smack about Michonne and whoever the hell else was out there. I think it was Maggie. Just, so annoying. I hate her. Who even is this guy? I don't know. I actually don't recognize him. You go in neutral. Tara, like her. I thought she was going to die, and that kind of made me sad. She's nice. I like her little relationship with Eugene. She's got a bit of a kind of a girlfriend kind of thing going on. I don't even know. But yeah, she's really nice to Eugene and talks some sense into him. And I like that Eugene pretty much manned up because of her to save her. For a dim minute, though, I did think she was going to end up dead because she did get blasted with shrapnel by a grenade. So I want to say it's a Terminus person, but I'm not sure. maybe an Alexandria person. Same like with this guy, he shows up in like he's in Alexandria. He doesn't have much of a role, so I want to put him in neutral. Tyrese. Oh my God! Don't even. Episode 9 was actually genuinely my least favorite episode in the whole show. I didn't hate it per se, but I did not like it. Um, Once again, Tyrese is the most humble and nice guy in the whole show. Like, up with there with Herschel. Like, I think they're tied. Couldn't hurt anybody. Uh, but this guy's also a truck. So the fact that one walker got him, like, really, really pissed me off. Um, he didn't have a whole lot to do in this season, not that I recall. Uh, I guess with the negotiation stuff with the people at the hospital. I don't even remember how much of that he had. Oh, one thing I want to point out, I love the napalm burn zombies near the hospital in Atlanta. That is absolutely nasty and great work. I loved it. Um, but back on topic, Tyrese, his episode where he died, just what a disappointment for the big guy. I still love him, but I don't necessarily like really dramatic Hollywood drawn out deaths in shows. I feel like that's kind of unnecessary, especially in the real world, where like if you get shot, you're dead, you're done, it's over, lights out. It's a split second. You shouldn't make a big deal over it in a show or a movie. But Tyrese, the way he died, I think my friend mentioned it. There's a YouTuber that said his episode was like half an hour of Tyrese bleeding out, and that's exactly what it was. He had hallucinations, and I like seeing the characters. Some characters come back that were part of his little story that he had going throughout the whole show. Beth, the kids, Bob, and the governor, who I did not expect to appear in that episode, really shocked me, and that was a really nice cameo. But man, he's a hero. He really is, and he should have had a hero's death instead of bleeding out. Yeah, a shame. Nearly held on, man. He nearly did, but I think really what screwed him was cutting off the whole arm. That really was what done him in. And finally, Rick. Once again, Rick, I'm very on the fence about, like almost always, really. I liked him in the early seasons, but it progressively gets a little more with me. Early season, he was kind of like no shit, cut to the point. When it came to Gabriel, his place, at the church, and the people at the prison or not the prison, the hospital, where he's just like freaking killing police officers and taking them hostage and stuff. I like that Rick. I like the angry Rick that just doesn't give a shit when he's killing people. That's great. The Rick I don't like is when he's being a complete dick and being overly controlling over his group. That's what I don't like. That's the Rick I don't like, and I see a lot of that in this season, where he's like, I don't want to go to Alexandria. I don't think it's safe. And then, it's just like, Rick, shut up. Just give it a try, man. I don't like that about him. And then he gets to Alexandria, and then he falls in love with this girl, and then he does Shane. He does a Shane move. Like, he genuinely turns into the person he ended up having a fight for doing this to his wife. He falls in love, or likes a wife, and then wants to fight the husband over him and try and kill him to get the wife. Sounds like Shane, right? Because it's exactly what Shane did, thinking that he's better. And I mean, in this case, Rick is genuinely better than Pete, because Pete's a terrible guy, but it's funny how that ended up happening. Just doing what Shane did. But by the end of it, he goes bananas. He once again loses his mind. He's out here pointing a gun at people after punching Pete in the face and just screaming and ugh. Rick, you can't be doing this. But in the end, everyone realized he is the leader they need. So, yeah. I think there's a lot more I dislike about Rick this season than I do. So I probably where the lowest he's going to be for as far as I know. I'm putting him in neutral. I just don't agree with like 90% of the things he does this season. When I like Rick is when he's kicking ass and like agreeing with people and helping his group out. But he just seems like he's actively going against helping his group, thinking he's helping them, and it pisses me off. What a what a tier list that was. That's probably the best one I've done. Discarding the people I don't recall, like seeing or knowing the names of. I felt like 3 and 4, I really could have done better, but 5 did really good. I feel like this is a really good tier list. I did well at explanation, probably because it's so fresh in my mind, which is exactly why when I'm done with Season 6, I'm going to make a tier list immediately after, because it'll be fresh in my mind. So that is my Season 5 Walking Dead characters tier list. That's all I've got for the time being. I guess I should rank the seasons so far and how much I like them. And I'm sure this might be a bit of a surprise to you. So my favorite season so far, throughout this whole show, Season 3, action, story, character development, awesome villain, cool setting, loved it. Absolutely loved Season 3. Season 4, it's like that, but I think it's missing just a little. I feel like it's hurt by losing the prison. I think the whole last half of that season, where everyone's on their own, kind of kills the flow. It was really good at the start, and then it kind of drops off a bit, but it's still good all the way throughout, and the climax is great, and leaves you on a damn good cliffhanger. Season 2 is my third favorite, because I didn't appreciate it first, but I liked the story, and I loved the character development, and I love that once you hit the climax mid-season, everything just takes off and it soars to new heights at the end of it. But I think definitely the beginning of the show, or the beginning of the season, does hurt it a bit much. I think that could, have gone a little quicker. And it didn't necessarily like the plot it was either, with, Sophia being lost. But yeah, it had a great climax at the end. Season 1, like I said, short, sweet, full of action. You get introduced to the characters, and then bam, some of them die, then bam, we're killing walkers, and bam, we're on to the next season. It's great. But I think, obviously, since it's only 6 episodes, it's lacking quite a bit. It needed a little more. Season 5, which apparently, from what I know, a lot of people think is the best season in the show. I don't like it compared to the rest of them. So far, it is my least favorite season, because there are just so many dislikable characters, so many dislikable settings, so many just, I don't know. Hopefully Season 6, being settled in Alexandria will be better. But stuff like being on the road, those kinds of episodes, I do enjoy, compared to episodes like, anything from, like, episodes 4 through 6 of the season, where he's just at the prison, at the hospital, and it's just like, please end soon, I'm bored of this. Yeah, I saw there's times where I'm just getting really sick of like seeing certain characters on screen, or I just want them to be dead so we can move on. That's kind of like, I think Season 5 is a bit hurt a lot by dislikable characters and just settings I hate, personally. All opinion, of course. You might think this is the greatest season of the show, and if you do, then that's awesome. I'm sure that there's plenty of stuff out there that in this season that I don't like that you do, and that's good. But yeah, I think really what Season 5 needed was a proper villain, like a proper antagonist, and it didn't. It had Gareth for a short time, then it had the people at the hospital, and then there kind of just wasn't one for the rest of the season. Then Pete for like one episode. I don't know. I think that's what it's suffering from. But yeah, that is all the tier lists, all the stuff I wanted to talk about. Hope you enjoy this, and yeah, I can't wait to get to Season 6. And when I get to 7 and 8, apparently those are kind of stinky, so, have to see where we get there. Yeah, that's all. I'm going to stop dragging this out now. See you in the next tier list, whenever that is, for Season 6. Goodbye.